On May 6th and 7th, 2015, Lincoln and the surrounding areas experienced major rainfall event. In the course of about 8 hours, some areas southwest of Lincoln received as much as 9 inches of rain or more. NRD staff began patrolling dams and the Salt Creek levees to monitor them and ensure they were functioning correctly. Many dams were at record levels, holding back billions of gallons of water, and water in the Salt Creek levee was also at record levels. To further assess the situation, NRD staff went up in an airplane, took some aerial photos. We have some amazing shots to show you, and so we begin in South Lincoln. Up in the air, we are looking towards Roca, south of Lincoln, upstream, looking at the Salt Creek floodplain. We're now looking at Salt Creek near the intersection of 27th and Saltillo, and as you can see, the floodwater is everywhere. A little further north along Salt Creek is the intersection of 14th and Highway 77 and Wilderness Park in the flooded area. Looking north along Salt Creek at Wilderness Park, and you'll note all the trees in Wilderness Park and the flood waters being stored in Wilderness Park, which really benefits Lincoln. This view is showing Lincoln Southwest High School and 14th Street on the right. You'll notice all the floodwater as it expands in the floodplain towards Southwest High School. In the Southwest High School area, you'll notice a lot of buildings that are elevated above the floodplain. You can also see the floodwater as it filled up the parking lot there at the high school. This view shows Southwest High School and the track and football field that's elevated, and the softball, baseball, and tennis courts and parking lot that's part of the floodplain. As you can see, Pioneers Boulevard was closed due to Salt Creek flooding in the Wilderness Park area. Many other roads were closed due to flooding in early May. This picture shows the Warlick and Denton Road area intersection and the flooding that occurred there. At the north end of Wilderness Park is where the Salt Creek levee starts, and you can tell in this picture, you can see the trees being the Wilderness Park and then the levee system that runs parallel to Salt Creek on both sides. The Salt Creek levee system did a great job containing the 100-year flood, as you can see in this shot from approximately South Street looking north. The Salt Creek levees protected the south bottoms of Lincoln and also in the West O Haymarket area. This is a little closer view of the Rosa Parks Boulevard Bridge and Burlington Northern Bridge and the levee system containing the floodwaters. Even with the levee system in place, some water accumulated on the land side of the levees, as shown here in the South Bottoms area. Salt Creek and the Salt Creek levees run in the area of Haymarket Park, as you can see in this picture of the water contained behind the levees. Automobile traffic wasn't the only transportation that was hindered by the flooding. In this picture you can see the Burlington Northern Union Pacific trains that ended up having to back away versus going over the flooded creek and their bridge. Here is a ground shot of that same bridge over Salt Creek that Burlington Northern and Union Pacific used during the flood event. That same bridge is shown here under normal conditions to give you some ideas to the normal flow in Salt Creek. Just downstream of Haymarket Park you can see Oak Lake and Oak Creek on the other side of Oak Lake as it joins up with Salt Creek. The parking lot at Haymarket Park is also used to help detain excess floodwater. Salt Creek then flows downstream near North 27th Street between Cornhusker and Superior Street, and the levees did a great job containing the 100-year flood in this area. The Salt Creek levees stop at Superior Street near 40th, as you can see in this picture. Further downstream, along Salt Creek, just east of North Star High School, in this picture shows some of the flooding in what was the old landfill. Also included in the old 48th Street landfill was Roper Lake, and you can see here it's flooded from the backwaters of Salt Creek. The NRD owns and operates several saline wetlands in that same area, and this picture shows some of the Schleich wetland and the flooding that occurred from Salt Creek. Little Salt Creek enters Salt Creek just northeast of North Star High School, and there's housing developments in the area. There again, the houses are all built above the 100-year floodplain. Salt Creek continues northeasterly towards Waverly. You can see here in the area of North 70th Street where Salt Creek is pretty much within the channel. As Salt Creek flows further towards Waverly, Ashland, and the Platte River, the floodwaters did get out of the channel, and you can see it here as it filled many of the old oxbows located in those areas. The May 6th and 7th storm was a major event, and as you can see, we had a lot of flooding in the area. Luckily, we've invested in a lot of different projects to help reduce that flooding and the damages associated with it, and we'll continue to take care and operate and maintain those projects to reduce flood damages in the future.